Pussy, oh, Pussy, I'm in a terrible mess. It couldn't be worse for a miller's son. When my father died, he left the mill to my brother James, the donkey to my brother Peter, and all that he left me was yourself. My brothers can earn their living honestly. They've only got to work together. But what's to become of me?
Don't worry, Master. I'm here to comfort you.
Yes, I know you are, but I'll die of hunger nonetheless when I've eaten you and made some gloves out of your skin.
Oh, dear. It sounds as though you really mean to do it.
But of course I won't. You know I love you very much.
Well, then, it's no use crying over nothing, Master. You're young and handsome. Oh, yes, you are. You needn't say you aren't. But you've got no more brains in your head than an earwig has.
Huh?
Anyway, all you've got to do is to give me a bag and a pair of boots, and then you'll see that your father's bargain wasn't such a bad one.
Boots for a cat? What for?
To wear, of course, to walk through the brambles.
Nobody's ever seen the like of it.
Exactly. So that is why it's time somebody did.
Well, if it'll make you happy, I'll make you a pair of boots and a bag. And while I'm making them for you, I won't have time to think about my misfortunes.
Here we are. I'll just lie down amongst these bushes, open my bag. Here's some thyme. I'll put some inside it. Rabbits like the smell of it. I'll pretend to be dead, and I'll be very surprised if some young rabbit whose mother hasn't told him what to expect doesn't come and poke his nose into my bag to try and eat what's inside.
Now look here, my little ones. I absolutely forbid you to go anywhere near that dead cat. You can't be too careful with cats. They're worse than foxes, and they simply love killing little rabbits like you.
As dead as a doornail. He can't hurt me. Have you smelled the thyme in his bag? It smells so good. Ow!
That's what comes of not listening to your mother's advice. This was a little rabbit who learned his lesson once and for all. And this is only the beginning. Is this the king's palace?
Good heavens. A cat that talks and wears boots.
Did you hear what I said, you numbskull? I asked you a question.
It must be a wizard. A wizard that's turned himself into a cat. Yes, Sir Puss in Boots. This is the king's palace.
Lead me to him, if you please.
Yes, sir. This way, please. Officer of the guard, sir. This is Puss in Boots. He wants to see the king.
What does he want to see the king for?
That's my affair. But let me tell you, it's on very important business.
Follow me. my Chamberlain. This Puss in Boots wants to have audience with His Majesty. Apparently has very important business to discuss.
Oh, isn't that so? But this is a very amusing creature. The king will certainly be very amused to see him. Tell him to come forward. Your Majesty, I've taken the liberty of allowing this cat to have an audience with you. I imagine that Your Majesty would be rather amused.
I'm not the king's clown. I have very important business to discuss with the king.
I was unaware that there were cats that wore boots in my kingdom.
Your Majesty, in your kingdom there aren't cats that wear boots. There is only one. I am Puss in Boots, and I'm bringing you some rabbits from the warren of my master, the Marquis of Carabas, who told me to present them to you on his behalf.
Tell your master that I am very pleased with his gift.
If it please your Majesty, I'd like to return with other gifts showing my master's devotion to you.
Of course you can. But, who is this Marquis of Carabas? I have never heard of him.
The Marquis of Carabas is the handsomest young man who ever set foot in this world. And he is also one of the richest.
Oh, is he?
Master! The king is dying to meet you.
The king? Dying to meet me? Me?
Yes, you! For the past 2 months, I've been taking him presents of game every day on your behalf.
Oh, I didn't think you were so clever.
That's not all. Listen, master. Today, the king is going out for a walk with his daughter, Princess Gracious. You've only got to follow my advice, and your fortune's made. Go for a swim in the river. I'll tell you the exact spot, and leave the rest to me.
This ride is doing me the world of good. Gracious, my dear daughter, you are as pretty as a picture. You are as beautiful as the flowers that we see around us this afternoon. More beautiful, in fact.
That's because I'm so happy to be with you, Father.
Oh, what's that I see in the river over there?
Help! Help! The Marquis of Carabas is drowning! Robbers have stolen his clothes! Help! Help!
Quick there, help this gentleman out of the water and find clothes for him.
So this is the Marquis of Carabas that my father talks so much about. Oh, he's all wet, streaming with water. But what a handsome man he is.
Puss in Boots. Have my servants been able to give your master clothes worthy of his rank?
Yes, Your Majesty. One of your courtiers had a trunk full of clothes in his coach, and he has lent a cloak to my master.
Your Majesty, I thank the merciful heavens for all my misfortunes. If I hadn't been thrown into the water by the robbers, and if they hadn't taken away all my clothes, I should never have had the honor of making the acquaintance of Your Majesty and of Her Royal Highness, your daughter.
What an elegant man he is. Not one of my father's courtiers is so distinguished. I have such a strange feeling when he looks at me.
Sir, I should be very happy to continue our acquaintance. Gracious, my dear, would you be kind enough to make room for the Marquis of Carabas in our coach?